Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Talking Fantasy Baseball podcast. I'm your host, Eric Henriksen, and with me once again is the Mario to my Luigi, Josh Day. I know we were supposed to do that last week, but we did it this week, and we'll get to why. Josh, how are you doing?
Yahoo! I'm doing good. I'm here, different background. This isn't like a virtual background. I'm in a new location this week. I'm in drizzly Northern California. So, hello.
You know what that means. 3 a.m. pickups are really easy at midnight for you.
Boop, boop, boop. Yep, love that. Although it's so weird because it's like my brain is dialed into like East Coast time, so like right when I'm waking up, it's like a game is about to start, It's like
Yeah.
so weird looking at the game schedule. It's like, oh, there's a game starting at 10:30 in the morning.
Get your lineup set after you make those 12 p.m., 3 a.m. ads. Yeah. On today's show, we've got Reading the News, Hamming It Up, new segment. I'm just terming it Hamming It Up. We're just going to literally ham it up. It's going to be so much fun. And then, of course, we have our final thoughts. But before we get underway, as a reminder, we release a brand new episode every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern, so be sure to subscribe so you never miss it. We're available on more podcast platforms than ever before, including all the major ones: Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Audible, and some new ones, including Spreaker, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, CastBox, and iHeartRadio. Don't forget, we have video on YouTube now as well, so you get to see our beautiful made-for-radio faces for every show on our YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, Talking Fantasy Baseball. Please subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating, a like, a thumbs up, a kind review. It goes a long way in helping us out. And if you have a question, leave a comment on the YouTube video. We'll be sure to answer it right here on the pod. Still a 100% chance of that happening. So take those odds. We'll be right back with Reading the News. Welcome back to the Talking Fantasy Baseball podcast. This is Reading the News. We got a short slate for you here today. Couple pitcher injuries out for the year. Cade Horton, surgery on his UCL. Unclear if it's going to be Tommy John or internal brace. And Zach Eflin as well, out for the season. Kind of a little disappointing. I know a lot of people were hoping Zach Eflin was kind of finally healthy. Guess not. And Cade Horton was going to be a breakout candidate, right?
Yeah, two disappointments on kind of opposite ends of careers, I would say. I was certainly buying, I was certainly buying into the hype of Cade Horton. He looked just like he was taking a step forward from the gains he was making last season and looked great in spring. And I think some of that was, we were starting to see that in his early, like I think of the one start this season. I know you and I drafted him and the team we're co-managing. So yeah, that definitely stung because, he wasn't like being drafted as like an ace, but definitely like kind of part of your kind of core rotation, like a guy that you'd have around for most of the season. And so, yeah, and then Zach Eflin, on the other hand, is, I think he was probably more of a late round flyer type guy, but I believe he looked pretty good. And did he just make one start, or did he make half a start?
Yeah,
but I think he struck a bunch of guys out.
Yeah, 17.18 K per nine.
Yeah,
he had 7 strikeouts in 3 2/3 innings. Yeah,
it's just all that juice just squeezed out and half a start. The record for fastest squeezed orange. But yeah, I think this is a good test for managers to be quick on their feet and kind of take their shots on some of these emerging pitchers that we're going to talk about in the next segment. So yeah, disappointing, but this is fantasy life, baby.
It is, and this is why we do not invest in pitching too early, because they will get hurt. Not maybe, they will. The odds are not as good as us answering your YouTube comment questions, but they're still pretty good.
That's true.
In better news, Merrill Kelly is set to return next week. I believe he threw 80 some odd pitches in a simulated game. yesterday. We are recording this on Friday, April 10th. I believe he threw that simulated game yesterday on Thursday, April 9th. I am trying to bring up his player page here. And Merrill Kelly, extended spring training game, 83 pitches on Thursday. So he's set to return. Haven't seen any dwindling stuff from Merrill Kelly. So if you need an injury replacement for Eflin or Horton, could look at Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, I think he's a worthwhile stash. Can be a nice fantasy innings eater.
Yeah, innings eater. Good chance for wins and quality starts if you get Merrill Kelly, and he's not going to absolutely kill you in the ratios either. So he's just a solid back end guy for your rotation. 37. So obviously the ceiling ain't going up.
Nope.
The floor will only go down, but that's okay. He costs you nothing. And then last bit of news, we talked about it last week because it was happening. It was happening last week when we were recording, but now it's official. Konnor Griffin called up to the major leagues, has played now a full week of real professional baseball, not whatever you want to call minor league baseball. And he signed a 9-year, $140 million contract. Not really fantasy actionable at all, but shame on the Pirates. They just got a guy who could make that much money in the 3 years of free agency that they bought out. Shame on you, Ben Cherington. Shame. What's that scene from Game of Thrones where Cersei's walking through King's Landing? Shame. Yeah, anyway.
Get that sound drop.
But they locked him up for 9 years. You get possibly a generational talent at a discount price. It is the biggest contract that the Pittsburgh Pirates have ever handed out. A little sad, I think. Make them spend money.
Yeah, I mean, I think as for a fantasy perspective, I think, he's up now. I think they'll probably let him play unless he just struggles so bad he pulls a Jackson Holiday.
I'm bringing up Konnor Griffin's numbers here right now.
It's not great right now.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, but also but he small sample.
Although I did see the other day, some of his exit velos were crazy high.
He's already hit 113.2 miles an hour, and let's keep in mind, everybody, he is 19 years old. 19. He's a teenager. He can't go into a store and buy alcohol. He's only been able to sign up for the Army for a year and a half, and he graduated high school not even 2 years ago.
Yeah,
this is incredible. So keep that in mind when you're considering Konnor Griffin and thinking about him in general. His sprint speed is 29.6. I believe that's feet per second. That is 98th percentile sprint speed, so I'm sure he'll start racking up those stolen bases. His on-base percentage is 100 points higher than his batting average, despite both being low numbers at this point. He's got 18 at-bats, people. Do not judge this kid off 18 at-bats. I think in 2 months, you'll see him just skyrocket because he'll just get used to everything. He is 6'3", 220. He's a big boy.
Yeah. And he's built too. He's you look at him, he's that is an athlete.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know how a 19-year-old looks like that. It's just wild. Absolutely wild. Just give the kid a chance. He's only striking out 22% of the time too so far, which is
that's not bad.
No, because if his name was Jared Kelnick, that number would be triple.
No, don't say their names in the same sentence.
I will not put that evil on Konnor Griffin. But that does it for reading the news. We'll be back with Hamming It Up, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Talking Fantasy Baseball podcast. This is Hamming It Up, but before we get underway, I just wanted to ask you one last thing about Konnor Griffin. What do you think his ceiling is this season for those in redraft leagues? Is he a top 10 shortstop? Is he a top 40 outfielder? Because I know on Yahoo he's got dual eligibility. Where do you think his ceiling is in terms of overall ranking in those two positions?
ranking wise, yeah, I could see him approaching top 10 in shortstop. I mean, shortstop's so stacked, but I think maybe pie in the sky, you could see him hitting 20 homers, stealing 30 bases, something like in that kind of boilerplate outcome. And maybe hitting 250, 260.
That's like
So yeah,
extra Dansby Swanson, basically.
yeah,
You know,
maybe kind of doing similar to what I don't have the numbers in front of me, but like first or second, I think, yeah, maybe like first season Bobby Witt.
mm,
My Fangraphs is
pretty solid number.
funked
Pretty
up
solid
right
player
now,
to
but
compare him to as well. Let's see. Bobby Witt's first season, he had 20 homers, 30 stolen bases, 82 runs
yeah,
scored, 80 RBI, and he hit 254. You've basically just nailed it. I think
yeah.
I think
So I
Konnor
think I
Griffin's going to
think
have a higher
that
walk rate, though.
I think that's kind of a good. That would be a really solid outcome for him, I
I
would
also
say.
would like people to realize that Bobby Witt did that at age 22, and Konnor Griffin's going to do that at age 19.
Well, we'll
3 years
see.
difference. That's like a freshman and a senior in college.
Yeah,
Quite the difference, especially maturity level. So I would assume that Konnor Griffin's a very mature individual, having made it all the way to the major leagues already. Is probably very concentrated and obviously naturally talented. All right. So that wraps it up on Konnor Griffin. We're going to just ham it up now. We've got a bunch of names here that we could just talk about. A couple pitchers in the Twins organization that have emerged. They are retreads from previous organizations. Taj Bradley and Mick Abel. Abel had a really good start. Taj Bradley's had a few really good starts at this point. You asked me before we started recording, should we add Mick Abel? And I don't know. I don't know who we would drop for him. But the league that we are co-managing, again, 312 players were drafted. So we picked up Taj Bradley. Somebody dropped Jacob Marcy for some reason. We picked him up. We've got Jordan Walker, who we'll talk about in a few minutes. Chase the Lauder we already have.
Yep.
Like, where do we fit in Mick Abel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, I was kind of interested in Mick Abel like early on in the preseason. Kind of interested in some of the hype I was seeing around the industry, and I think he looked good in spring training. And then thing that the bottom just kind of fell out with his first couple of starts. Now, if you like just look at the score box, he looks really bad. But then if you look at the surrounding circumstances, like I believe his first start, he was piggybacking Bailey Ober,
Oh, yeah.
which was it's like never good when like, good things never happen when teams like get cute with starting pitching schedules, or like, oh, we're gonna piggyback you even though you're used to starting a game, or like, look, this is very different, but like, look what happened with Pete Fairbanks
Oh,
the
my
other day
God.
when
Don't
he
get me
was
started
about
on
to,
that.
poor man was about to go on like paternity leave, and the Marlins are like, oh, you're gonna open the game,
Not
and
only
it's
that,
like,
hold on. He was not set to open the game. And then there was the rain delay, and they're like, yeah, well, because of the rain
oh
delay,
yeah,
Pete, because you're not going to get out of here early enough to, go, like,
yeah,
let's just get your work in. He gave him 3 runs. Ugh.
I know,
So stupid.
so I think more likely than not, when teams get cute with pitchers, it just does not go well. Maybe
No.
because they're creatures of habit, or what have you. But anyway, like he started, his first start was a piggyback. Second start, I believe he was like pitching in the snow. Like it was literally snowing out.
Minnesota.
And then I believe his start last night, he pitched a really clean line, kind of like more
Yeah.
of a line that you would expect um, a pitcher with hype and talent to have. And then also just looking on Fangraphs, so far in the early season, I know these numbers are static, but he has a stuff plus of 109, location plus 99. I know it's not elite, but at least it's basically kind of league average, and then pitching plus is 105. So I'm just kind of wondering, is this maybe a lot of people bailed on Mick Abel and didn't really look into like the surrounding circumstances of his early blunders, and then looking at some of his underlying data, is this the moment if you have room to take your shot? Because I know so much of what we've been talking about, what I've been reading out in fantasy land, is like getting in early on these early season breakouts, like the Jordan Walkers, the Chase DeLauters. We had a lot of hitting these kind of hitting mega breakthroughs. I mean, we'll see, it's very early, but these loud hitters, and now we're kind of starting to see it with pitching. So yeah, I just woke up this morning thinking Mick Abel. Huh.
I'm looking at a calendar. It's April 10th, like I said, when we're recording this. The season started for most teams on Thursday the 26th. So it's been 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 days?
Yep.
If you want to put it in perspective like that.
Yeah.
And in 16 days, you go through like the roller coaster of emotions, like, oh my God, my team is amazing. And then you go to, oh my God, my team is terrible. What did I do? Everything I thought I did right was wrong. And then sometimes you go back to, actually, maybe I was right. Mick Abel, though, had 14 whiffs in his start last night. And it was 44 degrees out. I think it's kind of impressive when a pitcher does well in cold weather, because it's really hard to, like get loose and grip a baseball when your hand is cold. Unless you have some spider tack, which I think that's against the rules now. So
I think that's big time against the rules.
Yeah, big time against the rules. So yeah, he did great yesterday. I'm cautiously optimistic because he had a good spring, right? So like I give him a break for the piggyback outing. That's like, I don't even count that. That's like a wash. He's not a reliever. So that doesn't count. And then like you said, he pitched in snow. So like, how are you going to hold that against him? That's like making your major league debut in the pouring rain. It's just not, it's not conducive to success. So this was probably, and this too, in the cold weather, was probably not ideal either. I'd like to see him get like some 65-degree weather, sunny.
I think one of his next starts. I think one of his next starts is going to be at the Trop.
Oh, there you go. Inside, good pitching environment. So yeah, I'd be really curious to see what he's going to do there. Would you drop? I'm going to go like really back end here. Would you drop like Mike Burrows for Mick Abel?
Ooh. I'd have to look at Burrows' numbers. Let's see.
They're not great to start the year.
No, I know he hasn't had a great start of it, but it's like, what? You have Burrows, right?
In one, I believe in our 12-team Keep Forever league, no, I do not. I dropped Burrows for Taj Bradley.
Oh, okay. So what was your, as a Mike Burrows owner already? Because I have no shares.
Sure.
What was your feelings? Like, what were you seeing that made you drop Mike Burrows for Taj Bradley?
Ceiling. I just didn't think the ceiling was that high.
Yeah.
Also, he's going to have innings limits because he threw 96 innings last year for Pittsburgh. He's at 16 is not high. Don't get me wrong, but like he's not going to throw like 160 innings this year. He's just not. And I think the ceiling is higher for Taj Bradley. Not that any of the numbers for Mike Burrows were jumping off the page either. As Sierra's 4, His xERA is 4.37. His FIP is 5. XFIP 4.31.
Yeah.
And I realize like those sometimes are reductive. Sierra is the number that you're going to look at really, and it's
Yeah. I like
early.
that.
And I'm trying to scroll down to his stuff plus is only 93, location plus
Yeah.
95.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
also
Burrow's.
like,
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I was also looking at like his current numbers, but also like 2025, 2024. And it's like, he didn't really blow the world away in terms of like K9. And it seems like he has a bit of a walks, like control maybe isn't his strong suit. Or he doesn't have like pinpoint command. Also looks like he has a bit of a home run problem.
Yeah.
That's carrying over into this season. So yeah, there's a lot of red flags. I feel like you'd need like a really solid start for him in order to kind of have like a glimmer of hope that he's taking some sort of step forward. So yeah, I can
Yeah.
see why you. Yeah, in that sense, just looking at it, I know you're about. I'll just make this quick, but to answer your question that started this all, I think I might consider. Just because I'm not really seeing like a lot of positive change in Burrows. I think I might consider either very closely watching Mick Abel in his next start, and having Burrows ready ready with the drop, add drop.
Yeah.
Uh, so the corresponding move. So yeah, I think I could potentially swap out Burrows for Abel. But anyway, what were you going to say?
I don't remember. Totally fine.
Okay.
No, you covered great. That was great.
Sorry.
Would you hear just a couple other names because it's always great to talk, if you're going to pick up somebody, who are you going to drop? Are you dropping Ryan Weathers for Mick Abel?
No.
Are you picking Mick Abel up over somebody like Joey Cantillo or Merrill Kelly?
Possibly Merrill Kelly, just because I'd be concerned about maybe if there's like lingering things he's working out because of the injury. Just maybe it might be a little bumpy with Merrill Kelly. Oftentimes, as we've seen time and time again, pitchers coming back from injury, it's never just like unless it's like maybe top of the line pitchers. It's just never a smooth ride from injured list to being activated.
Yeah.
So I think I might take a shot on Abel there. I don't have any shares of Cantillo, so that could be a wash, I suppose, at this point.
Yeah. Here's a couple more names, and then we'll turn our attention to Taj Bradley. We'll tell you which one we think you should pick up if they're both available in your leagues. But we're really talking here like your 8th or 9th starter in a shallow league, and we are talking about the 7th starter on your deeper leagues. Your where if you see something in the data or a performance that is interesting that you basically have to pick them up and speculate, otherwise you've got no shot. Those type of deep leagues. So a couple more names for you here. Noah Cameron, Yusei Kikuchi, Tyler Mahle, Grant Holmes. Are you taking Mick Abel over any of those guys?
I think I don't really trust Yusei Kikuchi at all.
Oh my God, no. Oh.
I think that he's like the ultimate like Hail Mary
Yeah, he really
play
is.
at the end of the week. But I do not trust his. I do not trust him to help my team. I think I actually picked up Noah Cameron for his 2 starts this week. I think Noah Cameron just reads as like the ultimate like mid to back end rotation guy.
Yeah.
So I think I would hope Mick Abel would have a little bit more ceiling. So I suppose, it would just be kind of based schedule based and kind of what you need. Like if Noah Cameron's your worst pitcher, maybe you want to dream a little bit more on upside, but and then Grant Holmes,
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised on him because he like had really bad. I feel like he had really bad command last year.
He also has a partially torn UCL in his elbow.
And I'm just a little surprised because he really faded, I think, last season, and now
partially torn UCL in his elbow. That's why.
that's all you need. So yeah, how much faith do you want to put into that?
Yeah.
Seems like that's like a big that could be a really big injury risk there.
Yeah. But again, we're talking Mick Abel as like the lowest of low risk ads, and you're dropping a guy that will probably just also sit on the wire streaming. But with upside for more. That's what we're talking about here. And that's what we really look at in early April, right? Speaking of upside for more, Taj Bradley, I think, has more upside than Mick Abel. We've also seen more sustained.
Yeah, we've seen more.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like Taj Bradley, and we made Taj Bradley a priority. We added him in the league that we are co-managing. Is it happening?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but as you say, it's only been 14 days in this season. And also, like, I think when we were texting back and forth, it's like, oh, should we add Taj Bradley? And it's like, well, on one hand, I want to say yes, absolutely. But on the other hand, I look at some of his, some of the data, and it's like, the data seems to suggest that, regression is coming. Like, right now he has a 1.8 ERA, and then his xERA is 3.14, xFIP 3.02. It's like, okay, so clearly this might be a little like, I'm still, those are good ratios. I'm not poo-pooing that, but clearly this is something is going to regress, or at least the data seems to think so. So
yeah, he's not suddenly Tarek Skubal, right?
So I guess I am a little curious to see how this goes, and where it goes, where it continues to go right and where it goes wrong, I guess.
Sure.
So
I mean, he's giving up a lot of hard contact. That's not great. But I see the Sierra at 2.58, and that's what I get interested in. And that's why I even suggested picking him up, because over the years, you and I have both been burned by Taj Bradley. And typically we hold grudges. Like, nope, I'm done with that player. No more. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me 3 times. We got to stop hosting podcasts. So Taj Bradley's Sierra looks really good. 2.58. His splitter has apparently gone to another level this year.
I mean, his stuff plus right now is 115, which is like elite.
Elite. Borderline elite. That's like the
new word invented for it.
Yeah. So it's he's really interesting, and I would make him a priority. Definitely replace Mike Burrows with Taj Bradley.
Please.
You have to have somebody at the back end of your rotation that you can just speculate. Look, if he turns back into a pumpkin, just go get somebody else. But everything is showing that like this might be sustainable, and this is, I think, the first time we've seen that from Taj Bradley. We've seen before surface level production, which is great, but we haven't seen like, well, maybe he actually can do it now. Even despite the hard contact, he's missing plenty of bats too, which is really nice. He's got a 13% swinging strike rate. And I know the whiff rate on the splitter is insane. So give Taj Bradley a hard look if you can. I know there's been a bunch of pitching options to emerge from the wire. If you missed out on the first group, like Jose Soriano, Kyle Harrison, Landon Roop, who is available in a lot of our leagues. Oh, there's a good one. Would you drop Landon Roop for Taj Bradley?
Yes.
Cool. We didn't have to do that. We were able to keep both.
Sometimes it just works out that way.
Yeah, but like it can sometimes, and I understand at this point in the season, be very difficult to figure out who to add and drop because you don't know what's real, you don't know what is, or what's not, I should say, and you're just speculating. But like odds are, 16 days into the season, the free agent you pick up is not as good as the guy that you're dropping. However, when we come back, we're going to talk about two guys that probably are better than a guy that you drafted. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Talking Fantasy Baseball podcast. We're hamming it up here about players who have emerged over on the wire the last few days. And here are two players that I teased just before the commercial break that may be better than the back end of your roster. Definitely worth picking up. Better than the guys that you drafted. Because you know that Michael... it's Michael from The Office. I'm forgetting Steve Carell's character's last name.
Scott?
Yeah, that's it. Michael Scott, 2 first names. Never trust a guy with 2 first names. Michael Scott, there's a meme where he like is running out of his office and he goes, "It's happening. It's happening." Right?
Yeah.
I think that is me when it comes to Jordan Walker. And the other guy is Cam Smith. I know these two guys have been covered ad nauseum throughout the industry over the last week because they both are doing things that are really interesting, that look sustainable. So rest of season, I just want to talk about rest of season because, most people are not talking about that. They're talking about, are they worth picking up?
Yeah.
I want to ask you, are these guys legit for the rest of the season? Which I think they are. But where do you think their outcome is rest of season? Because hot now, great. Okay. Who do I drop? You think about what they're going to do rest of season, what their ceiling is, if they sustain what they're doing to help you decide who to drop. So Cam Smith, Jordan Walker, take it away, Josh.
Yeah. I mean, these guys they're coming in hot.
Yelp.
I think to some degree Jordan Walker more so, just because he's had those explosive power games, and I think to kind of a lesser degree Cam Smith, but I wanted to see so right now it looks like Jordan Walker only has 1 stolen base. Cam Smith.
Can I tell you why Jordan Walker, while you look that up, Jordan Walker has 1 stolen base? Because everything he hits leaves the ballpark.
Right.
He's not on first base enough.
Doesn't have that option. Cam Smith has 3. So, I mean, Jordan Walker is just hitting with authority.
What comes after authority if you're going to level up after authority? Because that's what he's hitting the ball with.
I mean, maybe we'll just call him Thor, because it's just godlike numbers. Yeah, I mean, his exit velocity is like 97.4.
That's
max
average.
EV.
That's nuts.
That's average. Max EV 115.2. Good launch angle. Barrel rate is 26%. He already has 21 hard hit balls.
That's nuts.
Do you see that?
Yeah, that's nuts.
His hard hit rate is 70%. His average right now is 295. His XBA is 305.
Just I want to put that in context. I want to put that in context because when you're talking about hard hit percentages and numbers like that, just to give everyone an idea, Aaron Judge, when he hit 60 home runs, was that 2022, I think?
It's 2022 or 2023, I think.
2020. Oh boy. All right. How do I not know?
Where are we in time?
Yeah. COVID throws everything off. I'm like, when was he hurt? When did he hit his toe? Okay. Yeah. Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs in 2022. So looking at his StatCast data from that season, which was the greatest offensive season from an American League hitter ever, his average exit velocity in 2022 was 95.6. His hard hit rate was 61.9%. Jordan Walker is exceeding those numbers currently. Okay. That's how insane Jordan Walker's numbers are. Even Judge last year had a 58% hard hit percentage. His highest average exit velocity ever in his career was 2023 at 97.6. These are ridiculous numbers that Jordan is putting up. So sorry, continue. Just wanted to put that in context for everybody.
Like looking at his plate discipline, I think he's at a 14% K rate.
K rate strikeout percentage currently is actually 28.6, which is a little high, but you can get away with that when you're hitting the ball.
Oh, no. I was looking at something. Sorry, my browser got screwed up.
The internet.
I
feel like Jordan Walker's going to also.
No. His I meant to say his swinging strike rate was 14.
That's good.
Down about 2% from last season.
Good. It's a little high.
16.
Little high.
Well, I think you can kind of live with that with these guys that hit the ball really hard.
Yes.
It could kind of counter that metric.
And it's still early, so before he got super hot like this, he like the first few games of the season, maybe he was swinging and missing just a little bit more, and so small sample theater. Let's see it over 100 at bats, what it becomes. But yeah, sorry, I keep interrupting you. Just he's so good.
No, it's all good. So then I guess on the other side of things we have Cam Smith, who is also having a mini, maybe a prelude to a breakout. I guess we'll call all this. But his average velocity is 87, which is kind of odd. But then he has a max EV of 112. Also, he has a good barrel percentage, 16.7%, 14 hard hit balls, and so it's not quite as loud as Jordan Walker, but still, this I think what's exciting about Cam is that I believe he's playing every day, or almost every day, and he's running, which is really great early on, and he's showing pop. So to me, that reads as somebody that you should have in your roster somehow. Somebody that has power, speed, and isn't gonna. Let's see, what is his plate discipline so far? Yeah, it's a little high. He's his swinging strike rate is at 16%.
Yeah, and I think that his plate discipline between him and Jordan Walker, I think that is the differentiator, because he doesn't make as much contact. His contact percentage is 66%. That's very low. That's Luis Robert low, bad Luis Robert. So just be aware of that if you're really into Cam Smith. That is a little problematic. As I bring up Jordan Walker's contact percentage is almost 70. So that's also just a little low, but there's a big difference here in terms of their quality of contact when they do contact, right? So you can, like you said, get away with certain things when you're hitting the ball like Jordan Walker is versus the way Cam Smith is. And I just want to highlight real quick, Cam Smith did play an entire series in Colorado at Coors Field. So, grain of salt maybe, but
they didn't have a great series.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
It was really low, except for maybe that first game. It was pretty meek offensively for the Astros.
Yes. Cam Smith did homer there, and I believe he got this. So, but this is also an interesting thing. I noticed his average exit velocity over the last week has gone from 82 to almost 88. So the quality of contact is improving for Cam Smith. And I think that's also important to note. Again, small sample, man. It's like so hard to know what's real and what's not. And we last year on the show played a game called Real or Not Real.
Yeah.
And we will maybe bring that back in a couple weeks as we have more data to look at. That still might fake us out. But yeah, Cam Smith, that contact number is my concern. But I like that when he is on base, because he is walking more, he's running. And that's great.
Yep.
Moving on here. Oh, yeah. So, like, rest of season, before we do move on, rest of season, where do you see these guys ending up? They're both outfield eligible. Are they top 50 outfielders?
Yes, for sure.
Are they top 40?
I mean, I think they have the potential to be. I mean, look, I think currently I have Jordan Walker active in one league, and he is. I have Tatis benched for him.
Whoa! Why? One scorching. I know.
I mean,
Is there no one else to sit?
Look, well, that's a league where I have like too many outfielders. So it's
You have the Bash brothers in that league. You got James Wood and Jordan Walker, the big boys hitting home runs.
Big boys, yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, if Jordan Walker can, keep this going to some degree for the rest of the season, I mean, what, second round, first round pick
is I think whatever round he ends up in would be dependent on how many bases he steals. But I want to put in context. We said Konnor Griffin was 98th percentile about in sprint speed, 94 somewhere up there. Jordan Walker is about 50 pounds heavier than Konnor Griffin. And he's 6'6", 250. The man is a linebacker, like borderline, like right end, like rushing, like an edge rusher in football. He is just about the size of Aaron Judge. And Jordan Walker has the same sprint speed as Konnor Griffin.
Wow. Yeah.
That's nuts. He's an athlete too. So I can't wait for him to start getting on first base and start taking off, because he should be able to steal plenty of bases too. Do you think he can get to 20 stolen bases this year?
I think that's in the realm of possibility. I think he stole 10 bases last season. Yeah. And that
was bad.
Well, and also wasn't he out?
Yeah, he was demoted in the minors a couple times last year as well.
Yeah, he only had 396 plate appearances last season. So yeah, I mean, I think if he gets on base at a good clip and has the desire to run, sure, it's part of his game. Who's going to have a better season, him or James Wood?
Oh, that's a great question.
Who is ranked higher at the end of the season?
I don't like this question. Yeah, boy, I have them both in our keep 4 years league, and you have them in the keep forever league. So, Spider-Man meme. I want to. Oh my God, I am pontificating just to come up with an answer here.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I'm going to say James Wood, and I'll give Wood the edge because we have seen more sustained success from him in the major leagues than Jordan Walker. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is Jordan Walker, or a lot closer than people think it might be.
I think it might be a lot closer, especially if, Walker might, just with the batting average edge. We'll see. The big thing here is, again, super small sample size. We're not even a month worth of games in. And the big test is, pitchers will adapt to these hot hitters, and then can these hitters make adjustments? So, I think that's coming, and that's something to look out for.
Both James Wood and Jordan Walker have concerning pull air rates. James Wood has a pull air rate of 0%.
Oh,
he has not hit the ball in the air to the pull side yet. It's just, that's really hard to do. Really, really hard to do. But I want to move on here. I have 2 more names on the list. We're going to skip them for right now. Let's see if they're interesting next week. I want to talk about the trade I made. And this is why I did the Mario and Luigi intro, because you referenced him as Mr. Mario last week on the show. Sal Stewart. I acquired Sal Stewart last night for Ryan Pepio in our keep for 4 years league. I am a huge Sal Stewart fan. You're the first person to congratulate me, so thank you very much. I will briefly tell you about how these negotiations went. I reached out to this manager. I said, hey, any interest in moving one of your first basemen? I didn't name one. He has 4. Matt Olson, Sal Stewart, Jack Caglione, and Michael Busch. For some reason, he has 4 first basemen. So I said, hey, any interest in moving one of them? It looks like you might need second base, third base, shortstop help. He's got Max Muncy of the Dodgers at third base, because apparently now we're going to have to distinguish, because Max Muncy of the A's is rostered everywhere right now.
I call him Max Muncy Jr.
He is Max Muncy Jr. But Max Muncy Sr. of the Dodgers, no relation actually, is on...
No. But they have the same birthday.
That's wild! What?
They have the same exact birthday.
That's nuts.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, what? That's so crazy.
Same exact birthday.
Oh my God. That is okay. I might have to take commercial break just to wrap my head around that. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. Let's stay tuned. We'll be right back with more about this trade that I made for Sal Stewart. Welcome back to the Talking Fantasy Baseball podcast, where my brain has just been totally blown by Josh over here, that Max Muncy of the Dodgers and Max Muncy of the A's not only share a name, not only are not related, but they were born on the same day. That is okay. I'm trying to recenter myself. That is wild. Anyway, back to the trade that I made for Sal Stewart, acquiring Sal Stewart, trading away Ryan Pepio. So I reached out to the manager. I said, hey, looks like you need help in the middle infield and at third base, because he's got Max Muncy of the Dodgers at third base. He's got Jorge Polanco at second base, and he's got, nothing impressive at shortstop either. As I bring up his roster, give me one moment. My mind was so blown. It was not prepared for this. Oh my goodness. And he's got Bo Bichette at shortstop. Okay, so Bo Bichette has third base shortstop eligibility. He's got nobody to back up. He's got Itzhak Paredes at third, could back up at third base, but playing time is a concern for him. So, I said, maybe you'd be interested in moving one of these guys. I could help you in middle infield. I've got Jackson Holiday. Would you be interested in Jackson Holiday for, let's say, Sal Stewart? So I revealed the name that I was interested in, because he said he was open to moving one of these first basemen. So I said, how about Jackson Holiday? So I thought that was a really good offer for 2 reasons. Shortstop and second base, you can move Bo Bichette to third. And Jackson Holiday has a really late keeper round price, because nobody drafted him, because he was on the IL to start the season with the hamate injury. So I said, this is great. It could help you at second base, because Jorge Polanco in a 10-team league, he whiffed on that position. So he said, I'm worried about Holiday, even though I like him because of the hamate injury. And I tried to explain to him, look at Corbin Carroll, look at Jose Ramirez, look at Lindor, and everyone will look at Lindor and go, well, he's been terrible. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go. He's terrible in April.
He's always terrible in April.
It's as usual for Francisco Lindor,
Awkward.
so nothing is wrong. He said, okay, well, how about a pitcher? I really need pitching. I said, okay, well, my most expendable pitchers are Shane Baz and Andrew Painter. Anyone else, I'd probably need a little bit more. He comes and says, well, what about Bubba Chandler? I said, well, I know Chandler's walked a bunch of guys, but like I drafted Chandler as like my SP3 because I think the ceiling is that high. Like, no, not for 3 weeks of good Sal Stewart, even though I do believe Sal Stewart is going to be incredible.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. So he said, well, what about Chandler? I'll give you Stewart and a draft pick next year. And I didn't want to get into like figuring out a draft pick for next season on April 9th. Okay. I was going to offer Zach Neto. Not going to lie. I was going to offer Zach Neto, but I would want more back in return for Zach Neto if I'm trading him for Sal Stewart. So I said, well, what about Ryan Pepio? And he almost instantaneously said deal. There was nothing else beyond that. Really? I was literally just waiting for him. Yeah. He loves Ryan Pepio.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't either. He thinks Pepio is going to be, a top 30 pitcher pitching in the Trop this year. But we already have 130 innings of Ryan Pepio pitching at the Trop. And it was a 4 ERA. Like, I don't.
Also, just like principles of trading, like he has one of the hottest hitters out of the gate. There is a ton of hype around Sal Stewart. Like, don't just go for like an average SP. Get as much value as you can. You have somebody knocking on your door wanting Sal Stewart. He is way hyped right now. Get as much as you can. Get Bubba Chandler. I don't know. This was just like, this is a new manager. I don't know how you're just like the wolf to the sheep with these new managers.
No,
this happens every season. It's just like, look, you went out there, you did the work. I can't argue with that. Am I mad at this trade? A little bit. I'm a little mad that, it's like, especially like with this league where it's keepers. And I think Sal Stewart was kept in the teens in terms of draft rounds.
Yeah, he was drafted in round 13. I'm just going to confirm that. He was drafted.
He has the potential 13. To be a great keeper on a new manager's team, and then to me, it kind of feeds into my narrative of kind of the problem with these keeper leagues, which is when you have kind of this transitory manager, people come and go, you get these new managers, and it's like you can't really, and especially since we don't have any prior relationship with them, we can't tell how long they're going to invest in a keeper league. Like, are they going to bounce after this season? Do they not care? And so then it's like, are they just going to offload these keepers for nothing for like short-term gains? And then, it's just like the managers that are the go-getters, which is you, are going to keep winding up with the most talent. And then we just have this, disparity between, wealth, if you will, on keeper, keepers.
Yeah.
Some teams, a lot of managers don't have that, and then we ran into the problem this offseason where managers didn't want to, they didn't want to buy keepers,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe it takes care of itself in that way, but I don't know. It's just, it's a weird, it's just a weird situation to be in, I guess.
Yeah. I don't want any listeners out there to think that Josh is complaining about his keeper situation, because let's review that real quick. Nick Kurtz, Junior Caminero, Corbin Carroll. You have Chase DeLauder, Cam Smith, Konnor Griffin, Jackson Churio, and Jesus Made stashed. So, like, please, listeners, Do not think that Josh is
Well,
complaining.
let's review your let's review your
Listen, they're
stockpile.
not like that. Oh my God, yours are. I think yours are better than mine. But if we were to
I don't
review
know.
mine,
You have Jordan Walker, and now you have Sal Stewart.
Jordan Walker,
Who's
Sal
going to have the
Stewart.
better season, Sal Stewart or Nick Kurtz?
Oh, Nick Kurtz's
Yeah,
higher power ceiling for sure.
is
But
Nick Kurtz more Aaron Judge or what's his name, Mike Dunn?
Adam Dunn.
Adam Dunn. Sorry.
Nick Kurtz is probably Matt Olson.
Oh,
With more, and I know this is tough to say about a guy who hit 54 home runs, but a higher power ceiling. Because let's not forget, Matt Olson hit 29 home runs the last 2 years, consecutively.
Yeah.
So I think he's Matt Olson, but with a more consistent 35, 40, 45 home run window.
More steals.
More for Nick Kurtz, yeah. Sal
He's been running. Nick Kurtz has not been hitting home runs, but he's been running on several times this season already.
Yeah, he's got 2 stolen bases. He actually has more stolen bases than home runs.
And he's been caught stealing too, so
Oh, he's running. Sal Stewart will definitely steal more bases than Nick Kurtz by end of season.
For sure.
Batting average wise, might be Stewart. Sorry.
So I have a question for you. Follow-up question.
Yes.
So now you seem to have a bit of a log jam in your roster, I've noticed.
Do I? Because I'm dropping Samuel Basayo to acquire Sal Stewart here because Pepio.
Wait, but who's your first?
Tyler Soderstrom. Pepio is on the IL. Hold on. I'll explain. Pepio's on the IL, so he's not considered taking up a roster spot. To acquire Sal Stewart, I actually then have to drop somebody. So I'm dropping Samuel Basayo because his playing time is decreasing. I have Will Smith at catcher. And I think it's going to take longer than I want it to for him to gain first base eligibility. I'm worried Soderstrom is not going to do it again, but he also has outfield eligibility. So now I have a little bit more roster flexibility. Not going to lie, Stewart is going to first base and Soderstrom is going to the bench.
Right, because your outfield is what? Jordan Walker, James Wood, and Tatis?
That is correct. Yep, that is correct. And I have Buxton currently struggle busing on the bench.
So me thinks I'll wake up to another trade at some point soon.
Probably. I'm gonna need to acquire a pitcher. Let's put it that way, because my pitching has been not great, Bob.
You and me both, man. Oof. I might be a big early seller in that league.
No, well, okay. Timeout. You want to talk
about
my pitching
selling? Is horrible.
You're in 4th currently. I know it's been 2 weeks. You're in 4th.
I'm about to lose.
I'm in
week.
last.
I don't even know how that's possible.
I'm in last. By the way, during the negotiations yesterday, this manager did offer me Ryan Nelson, who he picked up an hour before I started talking to him.
Oh yeah, that's always fun. Here's this player I just picked up. No.
Yeah, he's like, how about Ryan Nelson and Sal Stewart for Bubba Chandler? And I was just like, no. I never said no to Bubba.
Nelson.
Yeah, I never said no to Bubba. I just redirected his attention elsewhere.
I think I would have done that trade straight up. Bubba Chandler for Sal Stewart. And in fact, I probably wouldn't have been. I would have applauded that trade rather than booed that trade.
I have to see Bubba go a little bit longer before I get a little worried. And I realize his control has been problematic, but I feel like where I drafted him, which was the 8th round, and I drafted Pepio in the 10th, but I drafted Chandler 2 rounds earlier than that, is to really give him a chance to sort it out. I'm more worried about Bubba in our 12-team league, our Keep Forever league, because we do K to walk ratio there. And it has not been pretty. So, yeah, I like this trade. I'm big on Sal Stewart. I will tell you now, I own Sal Stewart in, I clicked on the wrong league, of course. I own Sal Stewart in 3 of the 5 leagues I'm in this year. Nope, now 4. 4 of the 5 leagues I'm in this. So I'm heavily invested in Mr. Mario over there,
Mario.
doing well. When we come back, we're going to give you our quick final thoughts for the coming week. Our final thoughts and what we're looking forward to in the coming week. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Talking Fantasy Baseball podcast. That's Josh Day. I'm Erik Henriksen, and here are our final thoughts and what we're looking forward to in the coming week. So, Josh, any final thoughts as we wrap up the show today, and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think just kind of what we were talking about. It's like now is the time to be just like hyper focused on the wire, and just be doing that analysis of like the back end of of your roster, and just comparing that to some of these breakout players that are emerging. And is it worth adding some of these guys and getting them on your roster? And so, I just encourage everyone to, take action with, especially players like Taj Bradley and Jordan Walker, if they're for some reason still out there. Just, I'm sure there's players to expend. And then looking forward, yeah, I'm just kind of, again, I'm excited to see how these players, you know, their next at bats. Is Jordan Walker, I'm sure he's going to face, adversity from pitching, and can he adjust? How quickly is that adjustment? Mick Abel, we were talking about, like, I'm really curious, like, is this, the start we saw yesterday, is this, a moment where he's going to take off, and can you spot those moments early before everybody else, before the hype trains just take off and you're just left in the dust, like, so yeah, just be hyper aware of what's going on the wire, and just try and maximize your rosters with these ad drops.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing what Mick Abel does in his next start. He's a former first-round pick, 15th overall by the
Yeah.
Phillies in 2020. Keep in mind, that means he was taken ahead of Jordan Walker in the same draft. They were drafted at the same time.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Let me get. I think I saw Jordan Walker was the 21st pick in the 2020 draft. So we're talking young guys here. We're talking about guys that have they're like that Pandora's box that you know, if you open it up, you don't know what's inside. But it could be really, really awesome. It could also be really not awesome. And the
Turn into
great
nothing.
thing is that because they have such a low opportunity cost to acquire them, if they're bad, just get rid of them and move on. Go get the next shiny looking thing that's out there. It's a fun time of year. I know you do it. I do it. We scour box scores. We look at Baseball Savant to see, like, okay, so-and-so was 3 for 4 today, but why were they 3 for 4? Did they have 3 hard hit balls, or were they 3 like flares that just ended it up,
Yeah.
finding a space? So yeah, it's just, it's an exciting time of year.
Oh, one other thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been talking a lot about some of these younger players in the context of like keeper leagues, where it's like, oh, this could be an asset that's going to be useful for my team not only this season but in seasons to come. And also thinking about the trade you just made, in the context of like redraft leagues, like, this is also a good moment to grab Jordan Walker. And if he keeps this up for like a month or so, like, it could be a good opportunity for you to leverage performance and hype, and then using that to buy low on a more proven positional player or pitcher. That maybe Jordan Walker's like you picked him up and he's like your fourth outfielder in like more of a shallower league, well, you could trade him. Maybe you're weak at third base. Maybe you're weak at, a different position. Maybe you're lacking pitching. Maybe, who knows? But like, this would be a good opportunity to like grab some of these guys and see where their stock goes, so that you could then cash in on more players with, that are, have more proven track records, to fill in, weaker spots in your lineup. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Look, if you're questioning whether or not to buy low on a top 30 to 50 player with one of these hot free agent pickups, the answer is always yes, especially in redraft leagues. The answer is always
and early
yes,
in the season,
especially early in the season too, because again, small sample, people don't really understand. Oh no, this guy's actually terrible. I made a mistake. Well, sure, I will take advantage of that 100% of the time. Same odds if you leave a comment on this video. Same odds of us answering your questions. But that's a really great point to wrap up on. We're going to wrap it up right there. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. To make sure you don't miss it, or any episode for that matter, please subscribe. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. It's a really long list. If you missed it, go back to the beginning of the show and listen again. You'll hear it, I promise. 100% you will hear it. It's there.
We're everywhere. That's the long and the short of it.
we really are. So for Josh Day, I'm Erik saying, see you next time.
See ya.